I remember the dirt in my mouth more clearly than their faces, the taste off or on, the ringing in my skull, the silence in my legs. And above me, my father's shadow, sharp and impatient. "Walk it off," he barked, but my legs didn't even twitch. My brother, birthday crown tilted, fists still trembling from the shove, stood over me with that smirk thought looked innocent. Mom clutched her pearls like I had dropped myself on the ground just to ruin another celebration of her golden child. I tried to speak. Only air came out. The paramedic knelt beside me, her gloved hand hovering over my spine. Her face changed confidence, collapsing into alarm. "She can't move her legs," she said. Then louder, "Dispatch, send police backup. Possible spinal trauma from assault." I watched my family's expressions shift, not to worry, not to concern, but to fear of being caught. And the MRI, it would reveal the truth they had spent years burying. Growing up, I was Thief Family's invisible insurance policy, the helper, the peacemaker, the one who could take the hit verbally, emotionally, sometimes physically, and still smile. My brother Daniel was the investment. Every resource flowed his way. Tutors, camps, trophies for shells he didn't turn. I carried his secrets, covered his failures, even took blame when he crashed Dad's truck at 16 that loyalty was my currency, and I spent it recklessly. Mom used to thank me for being the strong one. But gratitude in me family aged fast. It curdled into expectation, then entitlement, until eventually it wasn't kindness they wanted from me. It was silence. But the day of his birthday barbecue, the mask slipped. Daniel wanted a fun tackle for his party photo. I said no, not today, not with the ground slick from morning rain. He lunged anyway. His shoulder hit me spine with a crack that felt like lightning tunneling through bone. I dropped instantly. Breath stolen. Legs gone. And then the part that tore something inside me permanently. Held. Not nervously, not out of shock. He laughed because to him hurting me was still a harmless tradition. And my parents, they didn't ask if I was okay. They asked why I couldn't just get up. That was the last moment I belonged to that family. Something in me hardened, snapped cleaner than the vertebrae they crushed at and the ambulance. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I simply observed. The paramedics muttered notes. The police officers raised eyebrow. The way my parents avoided eye contact when asked what happened. Their story was inconsistent, sloppy, panicked, good. For the first time in my life, silence wasn't my prison. It was my weapon. I realized I didn't need to scream to be believed. I just needed the truth to speak for me. And hospitals, unlike my parents, don't ignore injuries. I followed every protocol, reported every detail, signed every form. No embellishment, no emotion, just facts delivered calmly. The MRI showed swelling around my lumbar spine consistent with forceful impact. The social worker documented Thief Family's dismissive behavior. Police reviewed body cam footage of my parents arguing with paramedics instead of checking on me. I didn't accuse anyone that I didn't point fingers. I simply allowed professionals to do what my family never did, take me seriously. Next came the civil claim filed quietly, then the restraining order. Then the investigator's interview with former neighbors, teachers, even my childhood doctor. Years of minimized injuries suddenly had context. Daniel faced assault charges. My parents faced charges of neglect and obstruction. I never raised my voice, never demanded revenge. I just stopped protecting them. The truth did the rest. The last time I saw them was in the courthouse hallway. Daniel avoided my eyes, hands shaking, the smirk finally gone. Mom cried into tissues as though she were the victim. Dad tried to stand tall, but guilt bent his posture like a failing roof beam. I approached slowly, came tapping the tile like a metronome. I didn't ruin his birthday, I said softly. You ruined Michaelhood. Dad opened his mouth toward, but the bailiff called their names. Perfect timing. I stepped aside, watching them walk toward consequences they never believed applied to people like them. For once, they were the ones powerless. People assume revenge is loud, explosive, dramatic, but real justice that's quiet, procedural, unshakable. That I didn't destroy my family. I simply stopped cushioning them from the truth of who they were. My legs are healing slowly, imperfectly, but my freedom that came instantly the moment I chose myself. And if there's some lesson I carry like a blade concealed beneath calm words, it's this. When they mistake your silence for weakness, Let the truth do the talking. It hits harder than anything they ever threw at you.